Alright people, that's the C90 VL 1500 and that is the clutch. The reason I'm making this video is because sometimes people complain, sometimes you can read these words in articles as well, that these bikes have an interestingly, well, how to say, temperamental clutch. Because if you try to take off and you raise the RPMs of the engine a bit too far, so like you rev it up to, let's say, 2000, 2500, maybe 3000 RPMs, the bike just lurches forward, or it does not slip the clutch properly, and that is frightening. You know what? That's fair enough, but there is a reason for it. It's not a fault as such. What I mean by that is it's not something that's worn or needs replacing, it's the nature of the beast. And here I am to show you this, to try to switch the light on. You see this thing in the center? This is a slipper clutch. It is very similar to the Suzuki Hayabusa. Basically what happens is when the engine drives the clutch hub, so the torque that drives you forward comes from the engine, there are ramps on the inside. You can't see them, but I'm not going to take it apart. It's not my bike. But just take my word for it. There are ramps on the inside, angled surfaces. So when the torque comes from this area, basically what happens is that these fingers that hold the clutch springs are cammed inwards, like that. It goes down on the ramp. See? Like that. It goes down on the ramp, so it is going to tighten up the clutch so it does not slip. And when you, let's say, you're doing 50 miles an hour or something, and you click the shifter lever a bit too far down, so let's say you click it down to third. If this was a solid clutch with no slipper assembly, then the rear wheel would lock up, and your rear tire would just whistle and squeak, and you would leave a big skid mark behind yourself. So basically what happens when the drive, the final drive or the wheel drives the clutch hub, and it has a back torque, shall we say, I hope that makes sense. What happens is this, unlike when you accelerate, this is kicked out. So some of the spring, so basically it eases off the spring, so the clutch plates can slip a tiny bit, so you don't lock up the rear wheel as bad as you would do whether this was, you know, solid. So this one has a camming surface, and these little towers hold the springs, and that's what connects to the pressure plate on the outside. So basically when the torque is too much from the crank, it is going to pull down on the ramp, and it is going to lock up the clutch a bit harder than the springs would do, and that's why you get that lurching forward sort of sensation. So with these bikes, when you launch, try to keep the revs down, let's say around 1500 RPMs. It has enough torque to take off nicely. And once the clutch is properly engaged, then you can give it the beans and you will see the effect. So yeah, this is not a bug, it is a feature. I'm not sure if I can show you the ramps. It's really difficult from this angle. But yeah, there's an angled surface, and basically these just climb up those ramps because these teeth are also angled. Whatever. So you get the idea. If you watch a Hayabusa clutch video where people who take apart Hayabusa clutches, you will see the very same thing on the inside. So that's all I wanted to say. Take care.